Hello everyone, in today's video, we will make the scam mobile game ads into a real game. We will start off with Gronk. I will simply describe the game and see how well it can recreate it without any further instructions. Alright, looks like Gronk is done thinking. We will take the code and run it in Visual Studio. What the heck is this? The graphics look really bad. I also appear to be moving at a snail's pace. I'm going to need a rocket strapped to me if I plan on making it across to the other side. The game also appears to be very buggy. Some of the doorways are stacked together and some are just fully broken. Let's do a little bit more testing before we go back and make changes. Looks like we found another bug. The game won't end. Let's go back and make some changes. First, we'll tell Gronk to make the game look better and make the character move faster. Then tell it to add sound effects as well to improve the experience of the game. Alright, now let's run the code. The game does look a little bit better than before, but it still looks very buggy. The audio also doesn't seem to be working. Let's go a little farther to test the game. Oh my god, that scared me. Well, the audio is working now, but it sounds like an EKG machine. I don't know how much more of this I can stand. Let's go back and fix this. First, we'll change that god-awful sound. Then we'll fix the bug where multiple doorways are stacked together. Lastly, we'll ask it to make the game look even better. Gronk is done making the new changes. Let's run the code. The game looks a lot better now, and the gameplay feels a lot more fluid. The sound effect is also a lot less annoying. Let's test the game out to make sure all bugs are fixed. Looks like the bug where the game won't end is still here. Let's go back and fix that. Alright, we'll tell Gronk to make it so that when the army size reaches below 1, it prompts the user to play again and displays the high score. Gronk is done making the new changes. Let's run the code. One final time, let's test the game to make sure we can finally end the game. Hooray! Looks like the game is now ending as intended, and the high score is displayed correctly. Now let's switch over to ChatGPT to see what it can do. We'll give ChatGPT the same prompt we gave to Gronk. Alright, ChatGPT is done thinking. Let's run the code. Right off the bat, we can tell that this looks a lot better than what Gronk initially came up with. But it looks like the arrows are not working. Instead, we have to move with our cursor. Let's test the game out a bit to see what upgrades we need to make, or if there are any bugs that need fixing. We have encountered a bug. There are way too many positive doorways, so it's practically impossible to lose in the game. To fix this, we'll tell ChatGPT to add more negative doorways. We'll also upgrade the game by adding sound effects and a third doorway option to choose from. Alright, ChatGPT is done thinking. Let's run the updated code. The 3 pathways look much better now, and the quantity of negative doorways also seems equivalent to the number of positive doorways. The sound effects sound very satisfying as well. Let's test the game to see what happens when we do end up losing. The sound effects are changing depending on which doorway we go through. That's very good. When we do end up losing the game, it prompts us to play again and shows us our previous score as intended. Only negative options to choose from in the first stage. That's no good. Let's go back and fix that. First, let's tell GPT to make the game even more graphically pleasing to the eyes, then make sure that the first doorway we go through isn't all negative options. Let's run the new code. Oh wow, this looks so much better than before. Now it actually feels a bit 3D. Let's test out the game a bit to make sure it runs smoothly. The game is running wonderfully, and it looks very nice as well. I'm quite happy with the results. Let's move on to Google Gemini. Let's give Google Gemini the same prompt we gave Gronk and ChatGPT. Alright, Gemini is done making the game. Let's run the code. Oh wow, this looks exactly like the mobile game ads. Gemini even made the screen the same aspect ratio as a phone to make it more accurate. I'm very impressed. But it made the same mistake as ChatGPT and but 2 red doorways at the start. Let's fix this. Let's make it so doorways are never all red when the game starts. We'll also add sound effects to enhance the game. It looks like Gemini is done making changes. Let's run the code. Alright, it looks like the first doors are not red, and the sound effects are working as intended. Let's test the game to make sure there are no bugs. We found a bug. The defeat screen is showing up as intended, but it's showing the final army size instead of the score. Let's go back and fix that. Let's tell it to make the game look better, and make the defeat screen show the final score instead of the final army size. It looks like Gemini is done making changes. Let's run the code. The starting page looks nicer and more colorful now. Let's check out the game. Wow, this looks amazing. The army size even increases graphically when you go through the doorways. Let's test the game to make sure it's running smoothly. I can't express how impressed I am with Google Gemini, especially after seeing what Gronk and ChatGPT made. Gemini's version of the game looked identical to the mobile game ads, and its graphics quality was miles ahead of anything Gronk or ChatGPT were able to make. The winner for today's video has to be Google Gemini. Thank you everyone for watching. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you again soon.